So today we have a guest. I got Ethan here. He works for the cable company.
Yep.
And it's not the cable company where you watch TV or anything. It's the cable company in Pennsylvania that sells all kinds of cables, all brands of cables, including ours, JPS Labs. They sell headphones. You have lending libraries for headphones where you can borrow people headphones to try out, including Abyss.
Right.
And so it's kind of cool if you could actually try stuff in your own home. And there's a fee involved, but it's you can spend it on something. So it's not like you get the key. You don't lose money and you get to play with stuff. So anyway, Ethan, you've been doing this a while, and we'll talk about it. Yeah. You go by Yikes on Headphy, right? You've been there a while.
Yeah, I've been a member of Headphy since '01.
Oh, geez.
And I know most of the old timers there.
Yeah. Isn't that when the site started? Like,
it started like a year or so before that.
Yeah.
I forget what user I was, but there's several people that are much, a couple years before.
Right. Yeah. That's a long time.
But yeah, well, I've been into high-end headphones. I was a Stax owner back in the '80s.
Oh, jeez.
So, Stax, Grado, over the years, and headphones have just expanded. The breadth and the depth of the offerings is mind-boggling now.
Yeah, it's gotten. We did a few videos back. We were talking about that, right?
Yeah, he's got a little bit different perspective on the matter than I suppose I would.
Yeah, right.
But it has changed.
Or either us. Yeah.
Huge even over the last 6 years or so.
Yeah.
Such a world of difference.
Yeah, it's crazy. We're seeing tube amps pop up now from all kinds of manufacturers for headphones now, and I mean every category is expanding into headphones in terms of audio. Every new manufacturers, nice stuff.
Manufacturers view it as a growth medium, and digital is still expanding, especially with streamers, but headphones have been expanding. Headphones appeal to younger, budget-minded purchasers or users, and it's a great place to start. And now it goes up so that all budgets can be entertained. And you have people who started off with Grados 15 years ago when they were in high school or college, and now they are looking at Abyss and high-performance DACs and headphones to drive them with.
Yeah, we see that a lot. We're also seeing on the opposite end of the spectrum is the older generation is either selling homes and moving into condos, or they're downsizing, and they don't have their own dedicated rooms anymore. So they're getting rid of their 2 channels, and they still want the sound. So they're looking for the best headphones systems they could buy to replace their speakers.
Retirement downsizing happens. I've had multiple guys who have gone through that, and then they ultimately, some of them, go back, because speaker rigs are a lot of fun too.
Oh, yeah.
But the number of high-end guys who get a high-end headphone rig, because you can't always listen to your reference rig. Very few of us have a dedicated room in the basement where you won't bother anyone. And being able to listen to a reference rig without bothering the family is a big plus.
Yeah,
I have a big rig, but I have a good headphone rig with Abyss headphones. It's a good headphone rig. First, it's also much less expensive than a reference speaker rig.
Yeah, probably damn near tenfold.
Yeah, it's
if compared apple to apples for sound quality.
Yeah, a really good headphone rig, you're looking at $10,000 to $20,000, and for a really good home rig, speaker rig, you're looking at $10,000 to $20,000 per component.
Yeah, right.
So
amps,
it's a
preamp,
different ball game.
Source, speakers.
Yeah,
good speakers tend to get to 20, 30 grand and up pair.
Yep.
To get that resolution that matches the high end headphones. So
I don't even know that they match a high end headphone, but they're different.
Yeah.
A high end headphone linearity, because you're not dealing with the rooms.
Yeah, that's a huge issue.
headphones are very consistent in performance, and top to bottom coherence. They tend to be. With a speaker rig, you're dealing with the room,
Yeah.
and that's always a compromise.
Yeah, there's no avoiding it. Well, the sound's always coming in from the front of you with speakers, where
yeah.
obviously it's a bit more intimate when it's on your head, you know.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool. I mean, when you think about it, because when we talked about this before, but you know, it's like being with the band. You know, it's a different acoustic perspective.
Oh,
That's what it
absolutely.
is.
And
it's like sitting with the band versus having them playing in front of you with speakers. So it's kind of really cool.
yeah, well, headphones are more potentially you're on the concert stage with the symphony,
Yeah,
as
right.
opposed to being in
Right.
the 10th row.
Yeah, right. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, but headphones, it's not for me. It's not in place of a 2-channel rig, because I have the space where I can use a 2-channel rig.
Right.
When I was in an apartment, I used my headphone rig every night,
Right.
because the neighbors would have shot me.
To say the least. Yeah, we're fortunate we all have our own homes now, and the kids are moved out, so the only one I have to worry about bothering is my wife. And fortunately, I have a room above my garage, so I can get far enough away. She doesn't hear the speakers or anything else. But
Yeah, basement, garage room
Yeah.
is ideal.
Yeah.
But there's also a difference socially. If you're in the corner of the living room and someone's watching TV and you're listening to the headphones at the headphone rig in the corner, you're not totally divorced from them socially. They can get your attention.
Agreed.
So hiding in the man cave,
Yeah.
it can lead to or stress.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I do both,
Yeah.
headphones and speakers.
Yeah. Same here. I've shifted probably more to headphones over the last few years, and for whatever reason, I have both. But you know, I don't know. It's just easy to just throw them on your head and watch a YouTube video, you know, or something like that, or a movie.
I used to do speakers a lot more, right? I had
Yeah.
a pretty low end speaker system and used to enjoy that, but it's just I really don't anymore.
Yeah.
Especially now after having a really high end headphone rig. It's
Yeah.
a
just-
different experience for sure, but I think it's, at least for me, preferential to go straight headphones. And I really don't even have a desire to go speakers. I have the space. It's just, it doesn't seem worthwhile to dedicate it.
It's certainly far easier to set up and use.
To get a speaker rig that I enjoy more than listening to the Abyss
Yeah.
1266 is 30 times the price of the 1266.
Yeah, really?
So
You've been working on it. I know you've been getting.
Oh, no,
some- you just got some nice gear in
Yeah.
not too long ago.
my system's insane, and
Yeah.
and it's the pandemic. I have gone insane with my stereo, and
You spent more than you ever have in the past.
oh, much more.
Yeah.
It's but it's also, I'm 60.
Right.
This is the last big system I'll have.
Right.
And then I am going to ultimately end up downgrading to a nice amp, a nice DAC, and my Abyss.
Yeah, I hear you. No, I
It's a
hear
pretty
that.
good play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all have our places in age group in life. He's younger. He's still sorting his home. You know, where you and I are pretty much already set up, and we're just
Yep.
figuring out where we want to go next, if anywhere, or just lay low.
Yeah, it's,
You know?
they're fun hobbies, you know, and the great thing about headphones is the entree. You spend $1,000 on a headphone rig, headphones and an amp DAC, and you have performance that sonically is much better in most ways than any $10,000 to $15,000 speaker rig that
Yeah.
you can shake a stick at.
Yeah, it's tough to get that kind of resolution out of a 2-channel system in a room, you know, where you could just. And it's kind of like having I always say it's kind of like having a high-end system that you can take with you. It's crazy when you think about it, that, you know. And what's more crazy is that overall, that the same sound signature could be shared anywhere in the world. You know, where before you'd had to be in that room to know what that guy's system sounded like. The headphones are so consistent that you can, you know,
Yeah.
everyone that has them, they play the same song, assuming the system is similar, right? The system's more the variable now, not the speakers. There's no room.
I think
It's a
that's
system.
actually a bigger portion of the reason why headphones are comparatively accelerating at a pretty good rate these days, because it seems like being able to talk about your experience or share the experience with other people is a pretty big portion for a lot of audiophiles these days, especially what we're
Word
used
of
to on
mouth.
forums and stuff like that, right? You could talk about your system and you could see other people's experiences. You could see how they compare to your own. And you could use this information to figure out where you want to go next. If you want to change your gear, you want to try new stuff. With speakers, that's really difficult. Unless you hear every system, every setup. Oof.
And there's the room variable. If you hear someone talk about a speaker, your room is not theirs.
Right.
And it's never going to sound exactly the same in your room as it does in their room. Whereas headphones, it's going to sound that way. If you get a good audition with Abyss headphones, at least several hours in a non-noisy environment. So take away headphone meets because it's noisy, and 15 minutes what
It's
you
rough.
think at a headphone meet, it's rough.
Yeah.
But a long audition, you can buy a new pair of those headphones or a used pair, and you know what you're going to get. And you can aspire to the amp that person's using. So headphones, you know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Much easier than with speakers.
Right. It's predictable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where a pair of speakers, you throw them in a room, and then you start to figure out how to make it work.
Oh, speaker rig is a much bigger commitment.
Yeah.
Financially, room wise, and you don't have to go crazy with 2-channel speaker rigs. But if you want better sound and you pursue better sound, that's a bottomless pit.
Yeah.
Headphones are not bottomless yet.
Yeah. They're getting there though.
Yeah, no.
As more and more gear comes out, it's like, oh, I want to get that amp. I mean, to me, it's kind of not fun to have a few different amps to plug into.
The collecting is where you get in quicksand.
Yeah.
Because multiple amps, multiple sources.
Yeah. Right.
I've been around Headphy long enough. I know guys that have 25 pairs of headphones and have dozens of amplifiers. It would take us a half hour to unload their truck to do a meet with their product,
Crazy.
with their stuff.
It's kind of like Douglas.
Yeah, kind of. It's a bit of a different
DMS.
person, it seems. The 2-channel person compared to a headphone person, for the most part, they seem a bit separated. Because the 2-channel person is more or less the person that kind of wants to tinker, generally, I guess. The headphone person, you kind of want to know what you're going to get, right? You want to try and experience.
The other
You
thing,
know it's gonna
collecting headphones, you can't collect speakers. It's just two. I have 2 pairs of speakers only
Yeah.
because I have to sell one. But headphones, you can have the headphones that do chamber music for you like nothing else.
Right.
And then you can have, because they're so small and you can store them away, you can have a pair of headphones that's great on big band jazz. You can have a pair of headphones that's really comfortable for those long extended listens. You can with headphones.
Yeah.
It's just easier. Headphones, collecting headphones, once you get into amplifiers, it becomes more difficult because amps take up a hell of a lot more room.
Yeah. Right.
But I mean, I'm a headphone guy, but I'm down to 2 pairs of headphones. So, and one of them I'd be hard pressed to find where they are.
Somewhere in that move to the new home. But now we know the feeling. It's fun. It is a lot of fun, and it's actually we're enjoying just trying to keep up with the new electronics that are coming out to match, to be able to match up with our stuff, because we are always in search of power, good clean power, and it's starting to show up in all corners of the planet, which is awesome. You're just really seeing a dramatic expansion, even in the last few years of the
Oh, you guys
electronics.
have also come towards that. The the TCs are easier to drive than the original 1266s were.
A little bit.
So they will still show how good an amplifier is,
Oh yeah.
but you won't need the absolute power that the original 1266 needed. That's the way I
Yeah.
have seen it.
Yeah, usually they're good with a few watts and 50 ohms, you know. But we see anywhere from like 3 to 10 watts is the running range for the planar most planars, you know, where you've got ample power and headroom, you know, and you don't really need 10 watts, but
No.
that's a dangerous. When you start getting above that into 50 ohms, it starts to get you could start blowing things up real easy, you know. One oh shit and it's over before you know
Yeah,
it. you
always volume all the way down.
know? Yeah, right.
And
Etiquette. I call it etiquette.
Well, it's with any audio system.
Yeah, yeah. Be
Just
careful with
caution.
That's what happens as you go up in power. You got to start to understand the limitations of the speaker. You know, and I'm sure in a 2-channel world we've seen it all the time. I know I've blown a tweeter or two in my life. You know, it's
But
so easy.
Yeah, the interesting thing with blowing tweeters is typically that's actually because the amplifier wasn't powerful enough.
Right.
Because you clip the amplifier and put out high frequency distortion
Yeah.
to the tweeter, whereas a clean amp, not distorting, not clipping, wouldn't have blown the tweeter because it wouldn't have been
Yeah.
high frequencies. But
Yeah.
it's
I've blown them from a number of reasons. One was too little power. When you take the speakers outdoors, right,
Oh,
you can't have
you
enough
can't
power.
tell how loud it is.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, by the end of the party, both tweeters are fried. They're gone. The crossovers are fried. You got woofers only. You just keep turning it up because you don't even realize that the freaking tweeters are gone, you know. So, yeah, I've done that in the past, you know. But and all the way up to, I remember once I was doing a freak sweep and I had the level too high and it takes out a tweeter like, you know, you get above 10 watts or so, the tweeter's done. You know,
Oh yeah, it is
of pure sine wave power.
right.
It can't handle that.
It's why hooking a keyboard up to your audio rig and driving them through your audio
Oh, yeah.
speakers. If the manufacturer finds out that you blew something while playing a keyboard, they're not likely to honor the warranty.
Yeah.
That is not
Well, it's usually obvious because it
Yeah.
smells like smoke.
fused.
It's charred. The voice coil, you got to like peel it out of the magnet channel. But anyway, we're going off on topic.
No.
You know, and you got to get going because you got to take your wife to the falls today.
Yep.
Yep.
We're gonna go barrel off the falls.
Yeah. So remember, don't get too close to the edge. You don't want to go in there because it's cold and it's rough. That water's rough. You'll never get out.
Yeah. Well, isn't there a barrel ride now?
Yeah, there might be. I think it's on the side of the road, but yeah, there might be.
Well,
You'll
good.
find out when you get there. Ethan,
Your facilities are very impressive. I
Thank you.
enjoyed coming up and
it's our pleasure.
seeing how you do what you do.
It's nice. It's nice to have you here. Thank you.
It's a
And,
pleasure.
Thank you. And take care of yourself. Have safe travels on your way back to home. When you, I guess you're traveling through New York State and you're going to head back down.
Oh, we're leaf peeping all
Yeah.
the way over to Maine and then down.
Oh, that's going to be cool. That's fun. Perfect
Looking
time
forward
of
to
year.
it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
safe travels, Ethan.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thanks everyone for watching. Take care of yourselves. Have a good one.